7. Channel. Hey you guys, I am PFC. How are you doing? My real first name is Brandon. This is my friend, his name is Jeremiah. He coaches how to play Metagross. His YouTube channel name is Seagrove Pokemon TCG. I will give a link to his channel in the description. Selected.
Hey, this is Seagrove, and today I'm helping out a friend who did some recording of a Metagross deck. My friend's name is Brandon, and if you're watching this, you're watching his channel, I suppose, so you would probably know that. But this is a Metagross list. We're just going to run through it, and then we'll get into a couple games. So he's playing one Drampa. I think he's only got one Lele online, so he's just using the one Lele. 4 Max Potion, 4 Rare Candy, 1 Rescue Stretcher. He is playing the Magirna, which is good. 4 Guzma, 1 Hallow, 3 N, 2 Kukui, which is pretty spicy, so we like that. And I believe it's 4 Sycamore and 3 Choice Band and 10 Metal Energy. So let's go ahead and get into his games. So his first game is against Liquid Lutetium, I suppose would be how you pronounce that. There we go. And Brandon is a friend of mine from a local league, and he's a really fun guy. So yeah, I'm really glad to be able to do this for him. And hopefully we get some pretty good games here. He got no starting Pokemon. Looks like he's just waiting on his opponent. I think we're going to skip forward a little bit. Okay, so he does get the Beldum start, which is nice, but not as nice as the Vulpix, but he does get to start with Bridget, which is nice as well. His opponent seems to be a little bit slow. And by a little bit, I mean a lot. Okay, he got 2 mulligans, his opponent did. So Brandon's hand, even though he may be tempted to end here to get rid of that big hand of his opponent. Oh yeah, Brandon also does VGC stuff, so you can check that out too. You can be tempted here to end because of your opponent's hand, but he actually has the ideal start because he drew that metal energy. With that metal energy draw, he can grab a Vulpix and 2 Beldum, which is what he does, which is awesome. Getting that energy in the discard is really good, but also getting Vulpix into the active is really good as well. I would have retreated there. I'm not too worried about getting KO'd this turn when they're starting a Remoraid, although it is possible. But I suppose if they had Guzma or something, or use an escape rope, it could be better. But I don't see that happening with a hand the size of my opponent's hand. I don't know. Maybe he's right to just not attach pass. But I would have retreated. That doesn't mean it's the right thing to do. But that's what I would have done. Um, but we do see 2 Remoraid, which makes me wonder what plays 2 artillery. Okay, it's a Gardevoir deck, but he's got 2 artillery in it. Cool. So Brandon actually has a really nice setup here. Even though he's got such a nice setup, I don't think he wants to necessarily go straight for it. I still think Vulpix is the play because he doesn't have an out currently. No. So here, because he doesn't have an energy in discard, he doesn't have a way to attack this turn. Oh, he has I forgot what the Metagross GX attack does. So actually, algorithm is going to be really nice here. That was better than what I was thinking. The opponent gives him the angry. So you definitely get a Metagross. You definitely get a Magearna. Definitely get a draw supporter. And I think actually you just grab. I don't know if you need the field blower. What I would do actually is go Metagross, Magearna, Sycamore, and 2 metals. That'll just allow me to get a metal in the discard and to attach. That was a super good start there. Yeah, that's fine. I can't remember what his first card was, but the Guzma. Okay. I wouldn't have grabbed the Guzma, but getting 2 metal and an Ultra Ball is also fine. But you definitely want to get. Although it looks like his opponent is not playing. Well, we'll see here if he's playing Sylveon or not. No Sylveon, so he doesn't really need Magearna in this matchup, since there's no Sylveon. So he's not going to really need Kukui either. Okay. Nice. Really great play. So he wants to knock out the established Gardevoir, which is good thinking. So he attaches to Vulpix, and then Guzma's the Gardevoir, and then he can retreat with Vulpix and attach to the active. Yeah, that's a fine discard. Ooh, no. You want to draw at this point. So by doing this, he's putting himself into a position where he doesn't have an out. So the Gardevoir player can actually if he's just sort of hoping and praying here. Well, I guess he doesn't have a hand, so it probably doesn't matter, but I still definitely think you want to grab a draw supporter. But say he top decks a Guzma, then he can just Guzma a Metagross, and Brandon wouldn't be able to do anything for a while there. But going down to no cards, etc., he felt like he was out of the game. I don't know if on his end he saw the top deck, but so we'll get into a game 2 here. Let's see what he gets to play against. I'm gonna skip into the setup. So Brandon gets a mulligan, but he has to decide if he wants it. Um, an invisible mulligan. Okay. Another Bridget start with no, without having to use Lele. And this isn't as good as the last one, but it's still really solid. Like, um, yeah, I think that's good. Ooh, for Matang. Yeah, that's pretty cool. So he can actually leave his extra space open for his Lele. Um, just looks like he's against a Noivern deck. Noivern is actually very annoying. Uh, Luckily, he has this Vulpix, which will allow him to set up without Rare Candy. He's going to get that first Rare Candy off, but for the subsequent Metagrosses, he's going to need his candies. So, or his Matangs. So Vulpix is going to help him find that. Ooh, whoa. Okay, so that actually hurts. Because now he's going to get knocked out. His Vulpix is going to get knocked out next turn. If his opponent has an N, he's going to be in trouble. It might even be fine. No, he wants to go ahead and N and use as many items as possible. I was going to say it'd be fine to just not N and get his parts, but no, this is much better, yeah. I would go ahead and play the second Vulpix. And you're fine to discard that energy. That's no problem. Ultra Ball away. So I would play that second Vulpix. And an Ultra Ball, and the Vulpix in the metal for another Metagross. And then just Beacon for the intermediate one, whatever it's called. I would not grab McGearney here. I'd definitely just go with Metagross. Oh, yeah, you could have used that Rare Candy to evolve this turn, which would have been really good against an item lock deck, or ability lock deck, rather. The Drampa does make sense, but because you can't Rare Candy after this, I would have just gone ahead, Rare Candy. So Ultra Ball away the Ultra Ball and the energy. Go ahead and Rare Candy the for the second Metagross. Then double evolve on your two Beldum. And then Beacon for a Matang. And you can go ahead and get a Drampa as well if you're really wanting to use that GX. But I don't think you need to. So I would just grab the two Matang. And then this turn he Sycamores. You evolve with two Matang. Okay, you don't want an extra spot because you've already played a Vulpix. Well, he's going to knock out like he just did. Yeah. And then you can double evolve Matang this turn, and you would have had two Metagross and two Matang. I think it's fine to go ahead and move Metagross active. You just have to hit an energy, but you have 8 energy left out of 25 cards. That's pretty likely. And even if you don't, you're only getting hit for like 80 damage, so it doesn't really matter, and you can still algorithm if you need to. So definitely bring the Metagross GX active here, I think. Okay. Oh, nice. Well, that worked out nicely. All 3 Matang. Just evolve all 3 of those Matang, and then Sycamore. So I think Drampa's nice because it lets you get 10 cards, but I'd rather have the 5 exact cards I want then 10 random cards. But yeah, that's fine to go ahead and GX here. Ooh. So I don't think you want to, I don't think it's good to just sacrifice the Drampa. I mean, yes, you can like build your board up, but then you're down to 3 prizes. I just don't think it's worth it. Oh, why though? Either way, if he uses any attack besides his item lock. I guess item lock isn't that big of a deal when he's got, now that you've Brandon has established 3 Metagross or like 3 Metang. But so the opponent here elixired before using Super Rod, and so they're actually less likely to hit the elixir. The only way that's a good idea is if you're not interested in accelerating a dark onto the board, which I don't think is very wise. I think go ahead and I think he only did 50, so you're still item locked, so yeah. So I think you GX here. The only other option would be to pull up something else and knock it out. But this is pretty solid. But I still think it's just a lot better to get the 5 exact cards you want than 10 random cards. So I don't think the Drampa is really necessary. I don't love the Drampa, but hitting 180 consistently can be pretty nice. Metagross does that, but if you get ability locked or something, it can be challenging to keep it up. Okay, so the opponent does end, which is pretty frequent after you use Big Wheel or Algorithm, so no surprises there. I think here you're not going to be you're not going to be getting access to items often. So I think a Sycamore is actually fine here. Oh, you don't need it. In fact, now that you got that, you can attach, retreat, algorithm or metal links. I don't remember what it's called. I feel like algorithm is the GX attack. Anyways, use the ability to attach. Oh, is there nothing in discard? It looks like there's nothing in discard. Oh yeah. Attach to the active, retreat, then use Metagross to attach to himself, then use Kukui, and then take the 1 hit on the Noivern. I think that's a pretty solid play. Excuse me. You guys got in for days. Okay, so another ability lock, but now Metagross comes out. Oh, but there is no choice band, so you're not going to be able to get the one shot, even with Kukui from last turn. I wasn't thinking about that. I think N is fine here. I don't think you're in danger of decking out this game. And I think you have a lot of N's left too. I think at least one, if not two. So you do get both Metagross, which is super nice. But now you can just start taking prizes all the time. I don't know if I attach there actually, because his one, I guess his one shot at winning is actually doing the stall tactic, where he just Guzmas and stalls and stalls and stalls and stalls, like keeps hitting you, and keeps using Guzma to prevent you from discarding your energy to retreat, so that you just can't attach energy. But then I think you just attach from hand, so I don't know how valid that is, but I don't think I would attach there. He's not playing ability lock or anything, so you look pretty good at this point. You're in a pretty good situation. Another distort, and now you get to start taking prizes, so that's super nice. I wouldn't play the Lele yet. You don't need anything, so I'd just hold it. Just conserve that resource. Lele is an important resource. I guess if anything, you could Sycamore this, because you don't want those resources since they're items. But then, yeah, I think it's fine to Sycamore this. You could Hala if you're worried about decking out. I would not N. I would hold N. N's are going to become. So normally we think about N as something with diminishing use for you, even though it can affect your partner later, your opponent later. It's really nice, like if they get down to one prize. But it helps you less. But when you're getting a little bit close to decking out, it doesn't look like this guy's deck out on his mind, but when you're getting a little bit close to decking out, that's when it can be a bit more useful for you to draw, like for nothing, to make yourself shuffle and draw very few cards. I can't see if you have another Kukui or not. If it's like in your prizes or you already discarded two. I can't remember. Oh, okay. Energy Drive is a really, really good decision, actually. I didn't think about that. I would have attacked with Metagross, which would not be the best. Putting one Psychic in the list is actually a pretty good idea. If I remember correctly, Metagross attacks for 2 metal and 1 colorless, so having one Psychic will never hurt you, because it can always just fulfill that Psychic. And then you'll have the option of healing with Tapu Lele. You'll almost never use it, but the Psychic can't hurt you, so it's good to use that. So he's hounding for that prize. What you really don't want is that that Alolan Vulpix to get knocked out. Um, so you need to keep track of how many Guzmas he has left, and make him keep Guzmaing the Metagross here. Oh, that's spicy. So Guzma's fine. This is getting tight. Yeah, that's fine. And you can bring up... I would not bring up the Lele because he can knock out the Lele, and you don't care about items. Like... Oh, you can use items because he GX'd. Oh. But you don't really care about that. I don't think. Because he can come at you with all that damage. And then you're in trouble. Like, I'm pretty sure he has knockout now. Oh. He could have just knocked out this. And then waited for another Guzma. I don't know if he's got any Guzma left, but if he has a Guzma left, even if he doesn't, I feel like you just knock out the Lele there. And also on that turn, you could have Guzma'd his Lele and then knocked it out with a choice band. Because I think he's too set up for you to really worry about taking out the threats, because everything he has is a threat, basically. So now he just needs one more knockout. Okay, for the Guzma, I see. So yeah, you can Guzma that same one and KO it. Not like that. Now that you're KOing with Lele, he can return KO, which he couldn't do with a Metagross. If you are really wanting to do that, or if you're out of energy in your discard, I don't know how many energy you have in your discard, you can pull up Lele and then retreat just to get when you Guzma, bring up Lele and then just retreat to get the energy onto the Metagross. But it looks like that's going to be game, so just some quick tips on, those are just some things to think about on Metagross. Remember that you can get more energy in the discard by retreating yourself and stuff like that. So yeah, thanks for watching.